back. I'm not sure it's anyhow. If it jiggles, I apologize. I didn't think to calibrate it before I went out, so that might cause some unevenness in today's motion smoothing. Anyway, carrying on. This will be a shorter walk now too, because I wasted a lot of time making things, trying to work with the new gimbal. Nothing's ever as straightforward as it should be. Anyway, back to my plan, which is to walk all the way down here to the end of the road and the edge of town. So we go by apartment buildings here. We're in Harbour Landing, which is a pretty new development. I'm always surprised how many cars there are along this stretch of road. I guess it does take you to the Louvain, which is kind of the main path for going the rest of the city. I'll just dump that, my first bit of this video. So if you're wondering why I'm talking about the first bit of a video, that would be why I had kind of an abortive start to the live stream here. More new stuff being built over here. It's about 8 degrees this morning as we head into Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. I'm not seeing the jiggle I did before, so hopefully I managed to fix that with that little momentary stop. Looks like condos or more apartments. Going up there, right out here on the edge of town. This is the official walk. The few minutes before that were unofficial and should not be considered canon. Except this may be a bit shorter now because I was planning to be done by 10:30 and I spent so much time getting going that I'm going to have to keep it a bit shorter, I think. You can see the edge of town over there. That's where we're headed. Right out to the prairie, or the edge of the prairie. They're at work over here, even on a Saturday. We've got to get to the farmer's market, you see. That's why it can't take too long. Although probably if I'm back by 11, I'm still fine. I like the looks of those. They're different. They remind me of St. John's a bit because of the colors. And of course, we were just in St. John's, as you'll see if you look on my walking from a few days ago. I actually did a walk along Water Street in St. John's. Where they have brightly colored, they call them jelly bean houses, but the color apparently is because in St. John's, not here, they used marine paint because it would stand up to the weather better. And so you get all these brightly colored houses. I can tell I'm crooked, but there's nothing I can do about it right now. I mean, I could try, but I'd probably mess things up, so. My wife tells me I worry about it more than anybody else does, but I'm not so sure about that. Because it looks to me like I'm really leaning over to the left, camera-wise. Perhaps it adjusts itself a bit as I walk. We're going to go further here, past this vacant lot. Well, now you can really see it because Saskatchewan doesn't really tilt quite that much. I wonder what would happen. Okay, hopefully this doesn't... I think that's better. At least it made me feel better. Well, and nice to know I can actually do that without killing the feed, so I can do it again in the future if it bothers me. Even if it doesn't bother anybody else, it bothers me. All right, so we're kind of, there's a fence, and then the other side of it we'll get pure, unadulterated prairie farmland. So we come out to the edge of the city here. We're walking towards Moose Jaw. Won't get there though. That would be a long walk. Might drive over there someday and walk in Moose Jaw. I think that'd be fun. A little hard to justify taking the time just to do this over there. If I have some reason to go to Moose Jaw though, it'd be nice to do a walk over there. Sidewalk runs out. We're at the sidewalk's end. Where the sidewalk ends is a famous children's book of poetry by Shel Silverstein, by the way. And yes, the road, I thought it was a dirt road the last time I was out here. Is it paved or is it just oiled? Guess I'll find out in a minute. We'll walk over here to the gap in the fence and see what's what. If it's oiled, I'm not walking along it. That's what I'm afraid of, is that they've actually oiled it, and I think they have to keep down the dust. Well, that's a little disappointing. I don't want to step in that. I don't think there's supposed to be a hole in the fence here, but there is. Now I can walk in the ditch. That's not attractive. Well, anyway, I'll just show it then. The edge of town, looking toward Moose Jaw, out that way. I was going to walk all along here. There might be water. Well, there probably isn't water in the ditch. If I go to the other side, I'd have to still go through the oil. I don't want to do that, so. And it doesn't look very pleasant walking on this side in the ditch. So I guess I'll just give you a view, and then I'll carry on back to town, sort of. We'll get back on the sidewalk because this is very uneven. All right, well, we'll go walk through other parts of Harbour Landing. We'll go down there and turn right where there are still buildings. Nothing's quite going right this morning. I was going to walk on the gravel road and it's all covered in oil. My gimbal didn't work properly to start with, so I lost some time there. Oh well. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Doris Day used to sing that song, but my mother used to sing that song. I knew it from my mother before I knew it from Doris Day. When I was just a little boy, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Thank you. Doris has nothing to worry about. Well, I guess she doesn't anyway because she's dead, but my rendition will not make people forget hers. Okay, well, we'll walk this way then. Oh, somebody else there? Just needs hinges. Yes, it's a flat gate. Somebody knocked that down at some point. There's another one opening over there too. So lots of apartment buildings right here. Harbour Landing is a mixture of apartments and condos and houses. And then stores further south. I don't know if I'll get down there today because I've been so slow getting started. I don't know if I'll walk that far or not. Probably not. Look at the complex here. Never actually been down here to see this side of it. I don't know if it's apartments or condos. Which way do we walk? Oh, we go to the right. There's only a sidewalk on this side of the street for some reason. That I don't quite know why. Oh look, it's our first dog of the day. Presumably something will be built here eventually in this lot. These are probably condos. They're all duplexes or quadruplexes, looks like. Then you have some single family, and I don't care for that one, 5607 there. I mean, it's all garage. All you see is garage, and actually something I don't like about a lot of the new houses with the forward-facing garages. Garage is all you see. I like our old house where the garage is on the lane. Run for sale. Yeah. These modern houses and their modern ways, I don't like them. Them old houses, they were the best. Arr, sound like a pirate. There's the edge of town still, again. It's a little less oiled there. Still, it has sun on it. I'd rather not walk in oil. So far, nobody's checked in on YouTube. If you're there, say hi. We're out on the edge of town here in Harbour Landing. Some undeveloped lots. Well, I mean, they're developed in that you could build houses here. All the utilities are waiting to be put in, but nobody has built anything yet. Next time I see the road to the east, I'll check the oil situation again. I might still end up over there. We're on the frontier here. Such as it is these days. The edge of night. As a kid, I always thought that sounded like such a cool title. I thought it must be a really great show. And of course I watched it once and it wasn't, because it's a soap opera. Are there daily soap operas anymore? Do any of those things still exist? There's The Edge of Night and what were the others? Days of Our Lives. They must all be gone by now. Who would watch them? Oh no, actually it's even more oily down here, so. Oh well, I'll keep giving you glimpses of the prairie out there. They're not quite cookie cutter houses, but they're not a lot of variation with all the garages pointing out. So your street is all cars and driveways and garages. It's more like a parking lot than a neighborhood. Yes, I am a curmudgeon. These ones are better because their garages, assuming they have them, are in the alley. But I don't think they have garages. They seem to just have a parking area in the alley, no actual garages. No, there's garages, for some of them anyway. Apartments again. And then you get even the sidewalk blocked by something that size parked in one of the driveways. Very bright in the light. Morning.
Morning.
Jim Cairns Boulevard. There's the edge of town again. Jim Cairns. We'll go a little further. Then I'll move over to the east and find the path by the creek down through the middle of the development here. Garage after garage after garage. Or if you're from around here, it's actually garage after garage after garage. But I've never picked up that Canadianism. It's always garages. And I say drama too, not drama. And lever, not lever. These were the things that distinguished me as a child, moving from Texas. And I'm not about to change my pronunciation now. I did finally start saying fridge instead of saying refrigerator, but that took a while. Yes, I'm an immigrant, and I clung to my home culture. Despite the teasing. Say bullying? Yeah, maybe close, but not physical bullying anyway, just teasing. Second time I passed her. Actually, this neighborhood always makes me think of Poltergeist and those. Oops. Of course, this is the other problem with having garages that open onto the sidewalk. If you think about it, it's kind of a, I don't know, kind of an anti-social thing that developed with this style of house. Front yards don't matter. They're practically non-existent. Everybody's moved into the back behind their fences in their backyards. I mean, we spend more time in our backyard too, but our front yard, at least as a front yard, it's not a very attractive front yard because the grass isn't good, but still. That was the style then. The front of the house was what you present to the world, so it was important. And now it seems like it doesn't matter. It's just a garage with some windows above it. And children running along the sidewalk straight towards you. So on the writing front, we are now 23 days from, well, 24 days from the release of the anthology, Shapers of Worlds Volume 2, and there are 24 authors. So what I'm doing is every day I'm posting a little bit of the opening of each story. So yesterday it was the first few lines from Shadow Sight by Kelly Armstrong. Today it was the first few lines of, really not even, only the first few lines because they had short sentences to start with. Ghost and Fox by Marie Brennan. And I'll keep doing that every day. I also got my programming information for World Fantasy Convention in Montreal. I was going to go in person, but I decided against it, not so much because of pandemic, which I'm not that concerned about, but money. Also, my editor won't be there, Sheila Gilbert, and that would be my main reason for going. It's a chance to see her in person, but I know she won't be there, so I am less inclined. But I will be part of the virtual. It's like a hybrid convention with virtual and in-person programming. So I've got two panels. I'll be on one called Kill the Parents, which asks the question, do we have to kill the parents in YA in order to give the kids more agency, as they say? It's a very common trope. And so I've been trying to think about my wife. Let's see, the first one that was published was Soulworm. Yeah, the main character is an orphan, but she never knew her parents. That's not quite the same thing. And in a way, she does have parents because her spirit is sent from another world, ends up inside the body of a girl in our world, and she has parents, and they're part of the story, so they're not dead. The Dark Unicorn, he has parents, but he's away from home, so they don't figure into the story. And then one of the other characters is an orphan, I think. Then we got, let's see, Andy Nebula, Interstellar Rockstar, definitely an orphan, because the fact that he grew up in an orphanage is important to the plot. Spirit Singer, not an orphan, but raised by her grandfather, who then dies. So I guess that is a kill your parent kind of thing. That's not a huge spoiler. It happens very early on. Then it was adult novels for a while. Then the Masks of Agrima, she has parents. They don't survive the story, spoiler, but she has parents. And she's torn away from them, which has the same effect as if they were dead, but they're not actually dead. And then we had, let's see, I've got one called The Haunted Horn. Parents very much alive and important to the story. The Chosen. Not only are the parents alive, but the father is the antagonist of the main character, in a way. Those two books aren't available at the moment, but they will be eventually, once I get it done. Let me think. Guess that brings us Shards of Excalibur. Her mother is absent, but not dead. Father was never part of the picture. I'm going to turn the corner and start heading back. This will be a somewhat shorter walk, but either I'll splice the first few minutes on here, or I'll just cut that and just have this today. Blue Fire. Petra. Petra is definitely not an orphan. His mother is gone, but his father is alive. Amlin's parents were killed, okay, before the story started, but she has her grandfather. So it's not entirely absent parents. And Jen, I don't remember. Oh well. And then Star Song, yeah, parents are gone before the story even starts, and Guardian is killed. So that's very much in that trope. Anyway, so I should have some things to say on the kill the parents panel, virtual panel, World Fantasy Convention. And the other panel is one more chapter, which is books that you would like to write one more chapter because you think they ended badly. Not your books, other people's books. So I'll have to give some thought to that one. And then I have a reading, and I'll probably read Tybalt's Tale, my short story from Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. It's not fantasy, but nobody will care that it's science fiction. I keep feeling like there's jiggles in this. I hope they're not translating to the image. I'll have to watch this carefully since it's a new gimbal. Okay, over here we get to the nice path along the creek. We'll take that back toward the car. So far, nobody on YouTube. Hope my feet. I guess we've come all the way down to Gordon Road. So up there's sort of the big business area. There's all kinds of stores up there, big box stores. There's a Lowe's and a, what's the name of that outdoor store? Kabbalah, something like that. There's a Walmart over there, all that kind of stuff. Won't go over there. We will turn and take the creek path. Now I normally walk on the other side, so side I want to walk on. I think I'll stick to the paved side. Natural area. This is, and they just built around it. Oh, now I've definitely gone wonky on the horizon. What brought that on? Probably when I stopped to look at that. Come on, you. Just hold on 1 second here. That looks better. That's a very nice walking path down here with the reeds, and the houses that back onto this have nice view. There's a really big modern one down on that corner. You can see the white one in a prime location. Reeds have changed color. Could very well be white by the next time I make my way over here. There is snow in the forecast for next week. The last time I looked there was. Not that it'll stick, but it's going down to around freezing overnight with precipitation, so a chance of a dusting of snow. Possibly I'll be walking in my first little bit of snow next week. We'll see. Of course, if it's raining, I won't come out. Unless I have an umbrella. I have done that. Interesting houses over there. More interesting than the ones that are all garage. It's a jet, a small jet, it looks like. Might be a fighter from Moose Jaw. It doesn't really look like that though. Looks small to be a commercial airliner though. Doesn't have the sound of the F-18s that come over sometimes. To me. Just can't tell. There's a nice footbridge over there, and then that nice house on the corner. I have walked up and around this bit before, but today I will carry on. Well, Regina has lots of green space. Every time they build somewhere new, they're good about putting in green space. And I really like this natural area that's left here in the middle of all this. Mostly natural. I would say those pine trees there weren't growing here before, but the reeds and the bushes and stuff could have been. Hard to say on the bushes. Some of them look like they were planted as well. If they weren't, I'd expect them to carry along the entire length of the creek. Fortunately, the bushes collect the little trash, it looks like. They need to have a trash pickup day. Someone coming up behind me quickly, either jogging or on bikes. I can't tell yet. I just hear their voices. Sounds like joggers because they're out of breath. Nice red there. Don't get a lot of red trees, so it's always nice to see one. Clearly planted to give it a little color. I wanted my sweater when I started. Now I can do without it. I'm quite warm. Now it's gone very, very sideways again. It's something to do with the way the gimbal thinks you're doing something that you're not, I think. I don't know. Prism itself doesn't give you any way to, which is the streaming software, doesn't give you any way to adjust the horizon. But there it came back, so I don't know how it decides to suddenly do that. There's a new one going up there. So I've got a ways to go here. There's a pedestrian light, but I probably won't need it. This would be Jim Cairns, I think, Boulevard. But we're going on down to Parliament. Not the place in Ottawa, the street. Nobody has said hi on YouTube this morning. I feel bereft, abandoned, desolate, alone. Just a minute, I'll get my thesaurus. Isolated. Why are you wearing a mask outside? That's so wrong. Wearing a mask and it's not even covering his nose, so that's doubly weird from my point of view. But to each his own. Not too far to the car. Well, this won't be too short, even. In fact, with the extra minutes on the top, it's probably about what I expected it to be. I just wasted quite a bit of time fiddling with the gimbal that I hadn't counted on. Another jogger. And more walkers. And more reeds. Oh, there's quite a bit of water in there, actually. Long rows of apartment buildings lit up by the sun over there. We'll go across the footbridge here. See how much water is down there. Not a lot. Some, but not a lot. It's not exactly a swift flowing stream. We will carry on around to which way? I guess to the right will actually take us closer than to the left. Oh no, we'll go this way. I can see the car over there, the white car. Nice little area, big grassy stretch. You can sit and contemplate the grass. The grassiness of it all. I'll stick to the path. It's more interesting than walking over there through the parking lot to take me down to Parliament. So we're going into Canuck Park. This is Tudor Park. These all have aviation, or a lot of them have aviation themes. So Tudor as in Tudor jets, which is what they use for training Moose Jaw. What they did. I think they still do. And that's what the snowbirds fly. I used to think they were Tudor jets as in, you know, Queen Elizabeth, but no, tutor as in teacher, which makes more sense. This did add a little bit to the distance because the car is right there, but I'm not exactly taking the shortest route between 2 points to get there. I think the motion dampening on the gimbal has worked. The new gimbal. I think I should still calibrate it. I haven't done that yet, so. Little airplane. Here. Airport is in that direction. Not too far. All right, around the corner. There's WBM, which, as I said in the aborted part of this live stream, off the top is where my, well, they weren't here, but WBM was my first internet service provider back in the 90s when I first got on the World Wide Web. And my website actually goes back a long way. I had one starting in the 90s, early 90s, whenever they started to become available. I grabbed one. I didn't have my own domain name then. I don't remember what the original URL was, but it was probably wbm.ca/ because they were my internet service provider. But eventually I switched to SaskTel, not least because, of course, my wife is an engineer for SaskTel. And I don't think WBM, I think they got out of the ISP business a long time ago. Western Business Machines is what that stands for. All right, well, there's the car. Almost there. Still a few sunflowers hanging in here. All the warm weather we've had. First frost has not happened yet, which is very unusual. But it will come. And a mild spring doesn't tell you anything about what the winter's going to be like, so. But here's some flowers to finish off with. And I'll stop here with a view of the Co-op grocery store in the distance. Well, thanks for walking with me through Harbour Landing. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.